Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm joined by another guest here. We have Francesca Calo.
Hi, nice to meet you, and nice to
Nice,
meet you.
yeah, nice to meet you as well. And happy we can finally get this
Oh my
interview
gosh,
arranged.
yes. Yeah, I'm super excited. After, I think we were talking before, you said 2017 was is how long we've known each other, so I'm excited to be a part of it finally.
Yeah, same here. Just excited to kind of hear your journey through the voiceover world on your side of the map.
Yeah, yeah, and good old New York, where I was born and raised.
For sure.
So,
So, first of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
I think it's a really good time to work in the industry right now. It's a very busy time because there's so much new content going on right now, and with the addition of like COVID, I mean, obviously, I think you've seen like everybody's working from home right now, and everybody has built up their studios. So I think that has been an interesting experience trying to navigate. Because I think in some ways, being forced to work from home has allowed the industry to, I think, like rethink how it works and like how the fact that we're all essentially doing remote recordings, it doesn't matter like where you are really anymore. um, that you don't have to be in the big states like New York, California, Texas. You can be anywhere and still pursue this, and I think that has kind of opened everybody's eyes to that. And at the same time, like, I think it's proven that those boundaries can be broken, and like should be broken in some ways. It would allow a lot of people to have different opportunities. um, I mean, obviously, I think shows like that might be for Disney or Warner Brothers or something like that, you still have to be there probably. And like when things open up again, it might behoove you to move if you wanted to pursue it to go there. But we don't know how long this is going to last and how long any of the like restrictions are going to last. So, and even if studios do open up, I think that the idea of home recording and having that accessibility is going to be offered still. And I think that's kind of great because it allows for so many people to join the industry and to be anywhere, like I said. And um, hopefully will also allow for like more inclusive casting as well. And I hope that casting in studios kind of take the opportunity to open their doors to more people. But it's a good time. Um, and with the like influx of anime, anime is now really mainstream. Like when I was growing up, anime was one of those things where like I like ran home and it was like my after school cartoons. And I didn't really like tell anyone about it that I liked it. But now it's like everywhere, and Netflix is doing it, and there's so many great opportunities. So I think it's a really awesome time to be in the voiceover industry and the entertainment industry as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. Like you pointed out, like with what's going on with the virus and all, different studios are now recording remotely, so actors from anywhere else, like even newest Netflix show that came out, Great Pretenders, they had a
Mm-hmm.
mishmash of actors that were already in California, and then
Mm-hmm.
they did use actors from New York
Mm-hmm.
and New York NYAV,
Yeah.
where Michael St. Nicholas, a very good
Yeah.
man, ministry,
Yeah.
able to use his sources to get like a collaboration going. So
Yeah. And NYAV has also been really great about their casting. They allow anyone to audition regardless of race, gender. They're really good about inclusive casting. And I think that that's also really important and also like a great opportunity right now because so many people can be like anywhere, and it doesn't matter where you are. It's nobody's like stuck to just being in the city, so they can open those doors too. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully other studios will continue to do that and continue to push for that. Um, but remote recording has really, I think, proven that the technology is there and it's not perfect, but like we can still do it. um, and that it's possible, and also like exploring and experimenting and like what we can do with that. Like I was just doing a recording the other day where we were all like, we had a group recording, we were all on Zoom, so you can still accomplish what you need. Just you don't always have to be in the studio. It doesn't take the place of the feeling of being in the studio, and like of course the engineers are so important and all that, but I think it allows for a lot of opportunities in the casting world, um, to open up to people. Yeah.
Definitely. And during your time in this industry, what is your favorite project you got to work on?
My favorite project. Um, my favorite project is a project that I can't yet talk about, and it's been under NDA since 2017, and it's like killing me. It's killing me. Apparently, it's coming out in 2021, so we'll see. But every year, it keeps getting pushed back. But that one was, what I can say is that it's an anime, and it was a franchise that I really personally have always wanted to be a part of. So getting to be a part of it was like, oh, it was like a dream come true. Um, it's My character was like very action packed, a lot of screaming and a lot of like fun little battles and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that comes out. But hopefully I can talk about it soon. Um, my other favorite was one that I recently did, um, that I can actually announce, and it's called Tom and Lily, which is based off of a famous French comic. It's about these two siblings, Tom and Lily, who live in a French cafe with their parents. And each episode, they just like, they get up to crazy antics. It's like your general kids cartoons type thing, but they I play Tom in that, and he's just like a very sweet, like very rambunctious, like playful kid, and it was just really fun to just go and do that show like every day for like a year. So hopefully you can see it soon.
Hopefully, so now maybe I'm now just being for something like that. Like wow, like 3 years of waiting.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but now you got me. I'm gonna have to really pay attention.
yeah. I mean, talk about the NDA life, right? Like you see on Twitter all the time. Like that struggle is so real. And yeah, so 3 years. So hopefully soon I'll be able to talk about it. I can't wait till I can.
And speaking of franchises, here's one that has really been synonymous, over 20, 25 plus years now. What was it like working on Pokemon?
Oh man. I mean, like you said it, it's been around for 25 years. It was part of my childhood. I grew up watching it. It was to work on it was like a dream come true. Um, it, I think, kind of everyone grew up watching Pokemon on like WB11 or like doing the trading cards or whatever. Um, so I met Lisa Ortiz, who's the director of Pokemon now, and through my dear friend and mentor Erica Schroeder, who is now the new voice of Eevee and has been in the industry for years and has done Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. So I met Lisa through her, and then I took a class with Lisa, and then Lisa was really kind enough to bring me in to Pokemon and to record there, and she gave me like a great part. It was super fun. I got to do. I played a couple of characters, but one of these girls who follows one of the trainers around named Alima in Sun and Moon. And basically like your typical fangirl depiction, just like following around and squealing after him and crying when he loses and all that fun stuff. So it was a lot of fun, and it was a really great intro into the Pokemon world. And I still am shocked and grateful that I've been a part of that franchise. It was just like, oh, I can't believe I walked into the studio and I was like, I'm here. I can't believe this is the Pokemon studio. So um, it was really great. I had, and Lisa, of course, is just like, she's so nice and so welcoming to people and loves to bring people in. So it was really a joy working with her too, and being able to be a part of this huge thing.
I think anyone who is a fan of Pokemon or just knows about the franchise, I think anyone will be honored to just be part of it, even if it's
Oh
like
yeah,
something small.
yeah. I would be happy to play like a tree in Pokemon, but that might be a Pokemon creature. So like, next role, Lisa. Yeah.
All right, so another title you got to work on. What was like working on Grimmer, Grimmest?
Yeah, Grimmer Grimmest was a lot of fun. So, for those who don't know, and I don't know if you know, but Pinna Audio, who's the producing company of it, they do a lot of like amazing work that focuses on fun, interactive, educational podcasts for kids. So, Grimmer Grimmest is a podcast that introduces the kind of dark, more gruesome Grimm's Brothers fairy tales to kids. And the way they do that is the host went into a classroom with a group of kids and read these Grimm fairy tales to them. And then the podcast, it's formed where you have voice actors reenacting the fairy tale and playing the characters. And at the same time, the host and the kids interject with like their reactions and comments in real time when they were recorded. So you hear kids going like, "Oh, that was so gross," or like, "Oh, he turned into a toad," or like, "Ooh," and like, and they have like a conversation about it too. And it's like, "So what do you think they're gonna do now?" And you just hear them shouting. So it's really cute. It's a really fun like way to and safe way to I think introduce like the Grimm fairy tales to younger children who might not be familiar with it. Um, and in terms of voice acting, it was really fun because we all the cast members were basically multicast, so we had like different roles throughout the different episodes. And like one episode, I played like a little boy character. One, I think I was like a maiden, and like some creatures and stuff like that. So it was fun to really like flex the muscle there and just play all sorts of different kinds of characters in these fairy tales. Yeah, it was really cute. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I think what you just described there, I guess it's the a way to, I guess illustrate how the original fairy tales really told in
Yeah.
their true format,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like taking like showing like going away from like the Disney version that everyone
Right.
has been used to or been conditioned to of
Yeah.
how it's seen. So, as you said, more of a safer way for children to see without the more darker elements. Because I have heard about certain stories, I've not read them, but
Yeah.
there's some things that not even Disney or just even certain other entities would even bring to light because of how hence the
How
thing grim they are.
Yeah, I mean, like Little Mermaid, Cinderella, even. I mean, the stepsisters get their eyes like poked out and stuff. So it's not like something Disney, I don't think, would touch. But
No,
um,
not even with Beauty and the Beast, and
oh yeah,
that one. I was like, no,
yeah,
there is no sugarcoating that one. You just can't.
no, no, that one's really bad. Yeah, but this one, at least, they're not like fortunately they're not seeing any of it. They're letting their imaginations do all the work and stuff. So it's a little more playful and it allows them to kind of imagine what's going on. But it's interesting because they're like really into it. They like get really excited, and like if something happens like I think one of the story somebody had like their toe chopped off, and it interjected to them, and they were like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" Like, or they'd be like, "Ah!" So it's like really fun, and I think people like kids who like also listen at home or whatever will also have similar reactions. But they seem to have like a lot of fun listening to the more gruesome tales, which is good and bad.
I mean, we are in the new age of media. Boys like the more violent stuff, like just look at the games they play.
Oh
So I
yeah.
guess this is a walk in the park for them. So
Yeah, boys and girls, I guess, because a lot of gamers out there who are female too. But like, yeah, I guess this is the new age. I mean, I think for some reason kids are also like into that kind of like dirty, like gory stuff because they're not used to seeing it. So it's something new. But they're also good, the podcast, because they have like a rating of like grim, grimmer, grimmest. So they tell parents and kids in the beginning of the episode, like, this podcast is rated grim, meaning it's not that bad. Grimmest meaning there's some scary and more gruesome parts. So if a kid is younger and they get scared easily from that, they have a little bit of a warning. So it's a good, and Pinna is also a really great place. They do a lot of cultural stories. There's like a new story I just saw that they put out about a Hispanic family and exploring nature and doing, I think, like saving the environment and promoting that kind of message. So they're very good about that, and it's like a fun way to engage. And
oh,
new media, sorry, just go. New media, like podcasts, are so popular right now. It's a great medium to do that.
I love podcasts. Even here on this channel, we sometimes do podcasts, but I like to hear some. For those of you guys who know, especially the viewers, see my Twitter, maybe see my Facebook. I love my wrestling podcast, so I cannot get enough of that.
Yeah, and like podcasts are basically like radio plays now. They're like the equivalent of radio plays, and there's so much going on, so many stories that are being told. They're great. I also love podcasts.
Yeah, without holding back.
Yeah, yeah. Without holding back, I love so many of them.
All right, so another project you got to work on. What was like working on Regal Academy?
Yeah, Regal Academy was fun. It was actually a surprise. My director contacted me saying they had another project they wanted me to work on, and that they wanted to bring me in for. And I think it was for like a commercial or a more serious project. Um, and then I got there and he was like, surprise, you're actually working on Regal Academy and you're going to play the Little Mermaid. So it was a nice surprise. It was also like around the time of the holidays. So it was like a little extra present for me. But Regal Academy, it's kind of similarly, I guess, to Grimmest, but it's a kid's show that explores the it's like a retelling of characters in fables, like Cinderella's one, Snow White's one. Um, I play the Little Mermaid, so that kind of character, and they kind of like are in a school, like a magical school, and things happen, and they have to go and solve them. So I played Little Mermaid, and she got her voice stolen by the Sea Witch, and for a moment I got to play the Sea Witch too, which was a lot of fun because she was a villain, and villains are always fun to play. And that was Regal Academy was my first show that went to broadcast. So it was on Nick Jr. So that was just like an extra exciting uh, tidbit and bonus to being cast in it. So it was a lot of fun.
You just brought up Nick Jr. I have not heard that name in so many years.
I guess you're a little old for it, but I just rewatched it.
I used to watch it when I was young, but after that, like I just didn't even bother going back. But like,
Yeah.
just hearing those two words together, I
What's
just
the What's the show that comes to mind when you hear those two words?
Oswald. I think about
Okay.
Oswald.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. I think about Blue's Clues.
that too. But I go Oswald because it was more obscure kids show. Like
Hmm.
I don't think anyone's gonna bring up Oswald
Yeah,
at this day and age. Maybe few, but
yeah,
just for what it was, for the character himself, you're just not.
yeah. I don't think I know Oswald. Now I have to look it up.
Okay, yeah, look it up. You kind of see why I bring up Oswald.
Okay. Yeah, mine was Blue's Clues, which they're doing a remake of. So who knows? I might be watching Nick Jr. soon again.
Right. All right. And another project you got to work on while working on Archive 81.
Yeah, Arcade 81 is a podcast, another podcast. That one was really exciting because one, it was my very first professional voiceover gig. So the first time I ever got paid and went into a studio and I was like, I'm here. Um, the and I had listened to the first season beforehand. Um, so Archive 81 explores this this character named Dan who is working kind of as in like as an archivist and going through these tapes, and within that you learn more about the environment and the location and where he is and what this company that he's working for is trying to do. Um, so I had listened to that beforehand and I was really excited. And then I got to play Clara in season 2, who is this kind of pragmatic adventure scientist that is working with the main character to explore this new world that he gets transported to. And her partner is kind of like an Indiana Jones type, you know, suave, like adventure guy, and they get into a lot of trouble and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And it was also fun because it was done as a group recording, so all the actors were there and we were playing off each other, and it was kind of like doing like a play or like a radio play. Um, and we were lucky we had the writers there too. So, and one of the writers is actually one of the stars of the star of Archive 81. So it was fun because we got to just like play off of each other, and it, there are like things where like monsters are coming, you know, it's kind of like a sci-fi, uh, almost Lovecraftian in a way, um, a sci-fi podcast, and you know there would be monsters, and it would just be fun watching it and be like, oh, you know, just doing those reacts, and um, but it was good. It was really exciting as a first job.
Yeah, no, it's from the stories I've heard from other actors, like those type of Pentecostal ensembles. There was fun their own way because you do get to play off on each other's performances. Just the body language, the facial expressions, the
Yeah.
tone of the voice. Everything just comes into play. We're like, okay, now I know how to kind of like keep the ball bouncing with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, exactly. And like when you get a script, you read it, and you know you read it a certain way, and you have like these pre-existing ideas. But when you're playing against somebody else or getting feedback from somebody else, it like completely change it, and you're just like, okay, I guess that's where we're going. Let's do it. So, and also like in between, it's just fun to joke around and the bloopers and stuff like that. I always love group recordings because I came from a theater background. So I used to like having long rehearsals and working with other people and stuff like that. Um, so it's always great for me when we do group recordings and we get to feed off of each other. I really love that. And it's just fun.
All right, now it's time for the funny question. Always like to ask here: if you could be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix and match.
Okay, that I've played. Who would I be? Or who would I want to be?
I mean, who you would like to be?
Who I'd like to be? Okay. Um, well, I would love to be the character that I play that I can't talk about. But there's like a caveat to that because she has a great fighting spirit, which I admire, but she's also a little emotionally unstable. and has been indoctrinated in some ways to fight, so that's not good. But I would love to be like have a cool like I'm getting into dangerous territory but like trying to like say what I can without ruining everything. I just like to be like a cool fighter in space. We'll just say that. I mean, my dream as a child was like to be a space pirate. So that I think was like the closest I ever got or I will ever get to that. Um, Also, I'm a huge water person. Like I could spend weeks at a beach and be okay. So in that sense, would love to be the Little Mermaid, to be able to swim all the time.
All right. So next question. Is there anything else coming out that you can't talk about or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Yeah. So what I can say about the show I've been sort of plugging is just to follow Nozomi Entertainment on Twitter. And that might give you some hints, but that's all about that. The other thing is I'm doing a live stream with a couple of other voice actors. We are doing, we're partnering up with Valorous Games, which is a small independent tabletop game development and publishing company. They are the ones who created and published Valor, the heroic roleplay system, and that's their principal project. So their goal is to create tabletop role-playing games that capture the feel of like high action, high drama, like shonen and seinen anime. So they offer, it's kind of like along the lines of D&D, but they're offering like streamlined gameplay, and they're trying to draw in more like RPG fans who are looking for ways to bring just different kinds of experiences to their tabletop playing games, as well as anime fans who are also interested in tabletop RPGs. So there's a group of us. There's Zach Maher, he's our game master. Paul Green Dennis is a player. Myself, Lily Lammers is a player, and Tamara Fritz are players. We are basically hosting a stream on their Twitch channel, on Valorous Games Twitch channel. And it's a weekly stream, and we'll be live streaming like a play of their of their of their system, and would be doing our own campaign and going through that and playing these characters. So that I don't know when it's starting, but you can, if you're on Twitch, you can follow Valorous Games on Twitter. Also, Valorous Games, VALOROUSGAMES, and then they also have a website, valorousgames.com. It's kind of along the lines of like what Critical Role is doing, but for this new medium of tabletop gaming. And then finally, I'm also the co-producer and co-writer of a new podcast called Children of Speria, which is currently in development. Children of Speria is an epic narrative fantasy podcast that follows a 16-year-old girl named Robin. And according to her, an ancient prophecy, she is her generation's what they call a Ketobora, who has the power to resurrect the goddess, the creator of her world. And in order to do so, she will, master the goddess's sacred chisel and command 4 of the world's spirits, and will save her country from destruction at the hands of a totalitarian regime. So we have a really great, diverse cast led by some of the legendary like voice actor celebrities, including Erica Schroeder. It's a podcast for all ages. Fans of Star Wars, Zelda games, Avatar: The Last Airbender, even like Game of Thrones, will enjoy it. And we finished the pilot episodes. We are currently in the process of looking for investors to produce the rest of the season, but hopefully we'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to hear about that soon. And we'll be able to release the pilot soon. That will be great.
That's that's a lot right there. Like so much
I know
content.
I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully, if you're listening, you got it all.
Hopefully so. And yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for your Twitter whenever you get to.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'll post it on my Twitter too, um, and my info, so you can follow that. My Twitter is Monet at Work, MONETATWORK. Monet is my middle name. Um, and then my Instagram is Frananagrams, but you can search for me. It's FRANANAGRAMS. They're both open to public, so you can feel free to follow me there, and I'll definitely be posting more about those projects on there.
okay. Well, since you really answered the last
Oh,
question on
sorry.
social media, no, it's fine. It's fine. Unless there's any other social media you want to type, plug in. Otherwise, those two will be your platforms.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram are the best way to keep up and follow and interact with me.
All right. Well, thank you, Francesca, for your time for this interview. It's really appreciated to have you on here.
Thank you so much. It was really great finally getting to meet you in person and doing this. Really appreciate it.
Same here. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
All right. And I want to say thank you to our viewers here for following the latest episode of the Ohio Guys. Thank you all. We'll be seeing you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.